Hey grandkids, it's Grandpa again. I want to talk to the kids of Pierre. Pierre is your grandpa's oldest son. And I just want to tell you a little story about how I met his mother. It's kind of crazy. We had just moved back from Wichita from Johnson County. Yeah, a bunch of idiots in the road, but never mind that. Family just moved back to Wichita from Johnson County. I spoke about Johnson County a couple times. And, we moved to a nice upper middle class black neighborhood. And we decided to start attending church at the same church we went to before we left town. And things had changed. We were gone 4.5 years maybe. I didn't recognize a lot of the kids there, because by that time we came back, I think it was maybe 1986, late 1985. I was 13 maybe. I was going to the 8th grade, so I could have been 13 going on 14. And let me tell you, wow, a lot of them girls grew up by that time. And I met Pierre's mother. She's a year older than me. And at the time, to be 14, when I was 13, she looked like a woman. So I was like, wow. But, nothing ever happened because, I was, even though I had hit puberty, I was completely alienated from my quote unquote people. Being in Johnson County, at the time when kids in the hood was listening to NWA and Schoolie D, Jodeci. What was I listening to? I was listening to AC/DC. I was listening to Panama, listening to rap. And I heard this rap. I was like, man, what is this music? So yeah, I was a little different, a little proper speaking. So I didn't really appeal to the girls at the church. Your great-grandmother was devout, so she had us at church maybe out of a 7-day week, 4 days a week. Had youth mission, Bible study, vacation Bible school, youth study, and youth horizons, and all kind of crazy church programs. And so I began to spend more and more time with little girls up at the church. And I got to get really good friends with 2 of the girls there. And I actually started dating one other girl instead of your daddy's mom. And I think this was like in 9th grade. By this time, this was 9th grade. And we dated throughout most of 9th grade. Well, lo and behold, the summer before I went to 10th grade, we had a little vacation. There was a youth conference in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was going to be cool. Me and the girl I was dating from the church, going to be able to spend some quality time because we were too young to go out on dates. But being on this little youth trip, it was all about us now. In between the little things, with all the kids getting together and spending time at night, we'd be able to, be ourselves and, get a little touchy-feely. I know I'm making y'all want to throw up, but that's okay. Well, your daddy's mom felt sorry for the girl that I was dating because, I don't know, maybe she thought I could do better. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really know what it was. But she did her hair one night and she looked really good to me, And when she was doing my girlfriend's hair at the time, I don't know what clicked inside of me. Because you guys know that your great-grandmother was a beautician. And that just appealed to me that, your daddy's mom could do hair as about as good as your great grandma, and that kind of touched me inside. Even as a little horny, hormone-filled teenager, a giant hormone in sneakers, that appealed to me. That touched me, and I began looking at Pierre's mom in a different way. I don't know what happened, but somewhere along the way during that week-long trip, me and the gal broke up. And me and Pierre's mama, you guys' daddy, we started dating. And it was kind of crazy because my parents did not approve of your grandma. It wasn't because she was a bad person, but it was just because where, our families were at the time. My father was an executive. Your great-grandpa was an executive. Your great-grandmother had her own business. And, your grandma wasn't, quote-unquote, in the same station. So my parents felt that I should be dating somebody who was on the same station. I don't know how it's going to be when you guys get old enough to appreciate this video. But, more than likely, those same kind of social taboos will exist where, you're going to be kind of forced or coerced or pressured to date somebody on the same status level as you. Well, I fought through it, and we dated for a few months, and we ended up breaking up because, she was a year older than me. She had a lot more experience with boyfriends. She was like my second real girlfriend. And, it didn't last very long. I was very immature. I thought I could handle it. And what it all boiled down to was I stayed in it just to rebel to my parents. So, I dated around. With that experience, I was able to apply that to other girlfriends. All of a sudden, I knew how to talk to girls. So if your grandma's watching this or your daddy's watching this, I can say that, she taught me how to talk to girls. Well, oddly enough, our senior year, we ended up back together. And it was the summer before our senior year. And I don't know, we just kind of got together on the lark. Your great-grandpa was a hoe. I did some stuff. And I was just sick of girls. I had a job and, I had money in the bank. At 17 years old, I had a lot of stuff going for me. I was a straight-A student, and I didn't play sports, but, I was athletic. I worked out. I had a few good friends, and, I just thought I was just the stuff. The bee's knees, Yeah, that's a saying that died even to this day. Nobody says that, but I just said it, so don't judge me. So we decided to get back together. We fooled around a little bit, and she ended up pregnant with your dad right before my senior year. Now, she had already finished school the year before. Again, like I said, she's a year older than I was. And, I was more or less devastated. And not because she was pregnant, but because I did not know how to approach my parents. I did not know how to approach your grandpa and grandma. Don't you know that I had to wait until October? And mind you, at this time, school started in late August. And it was almost 2 months before I told my parents. I set my mom down, I set the dad down, I set your great-grandmother and great-grandpa down. I said, y'all gotta sit down, I gotta tell y'all something. And I said, well, first of all, you're not gonna need to pay for me to go to prom. So I want to be going to prom. And you might need to make one more spot at graduation services. And your great grandma, she yeah, she wasn't too happy. Your great grandpa was like, babe, I think you're trying to tell us that Kenya's pregnant. And that's the story of that. Me and your grandma, after that, something happened to our relationship, and I ended up moving out mid-summer after graduation. And me and your dad's mother, we got married October 24th, which sadly enough is the birthday of the girl I was dating right before she and I got back together. Maybe I'll have to tell that story another day. But yeah, we got married on that day, and great grandma didn't show up. She was not happy. She did not approve, and she did not show up to the wedding. And it was almost 6 months or so before she saw or held your daddy. And I was devastated the whole time that she would not hold or come see your daddy. I mean, he was just the most precious little child. I mean, when he was born, and I'll have to tell that story another day too, but I mean, he was a little me, and I was the most proudest little dude. I was just 18, but I was proud as hell. I said, man, this dude look just like me. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And your great grandma really didn't want to have much to do with it, and it was sad and kind of sickening, but you know, obviously she got over it. But you know, it's just crazy how that happened, and you know, it all worked out in the end. But yeah, that's the story. Let me know what you think, grandkids. And with all these stories I tell, if I'm still alive and you see this, you know, let me know how you feel, because as you get to know me, you know that I'm a very open person. I don't hold anything back. I try to watch my language at times, or I try to make sure that when I speak, I am very understandable. You know, I try to enunciate so that there are no misunderstandings. You dig? All right, grandkids, I'm out.